What's up, everybody? It's Supertransfer podcast. We back with season 2. I'm excited about this season. I'm even more excited today, man. I got my cuz with me, my family, my first cousin, actual blood. You know, a lot of motherfuckers be talking about like they family, they this, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, this is really genuinely my family, you know what I'm saying? We at the family reunions, we got the same grandmama. Our mamas is related, like they sisters, like we family. So, you know, if you know me personally, you probably know my cousin, know of my cousin. You know what I'm saying? We like more like brothers than we are cousins. And I'm happy to have him on my podcast because I think y'all gonna see some dynamics and learn some things about him that y'all probably didn't know unless you were extremely close to him. So, cuz, say what's up, tell everybody who you is.
What's up? My name is Terrell, Ingram. Everybody call me Stretch. Some people call me Flight. You can call me anything but late for supper.
Oh, man. So, with all of that, a lot of people don't know, we had a family, aunts and uncles. It was 10 of them, grandparents, granddaddy, grandma, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to our grandfather. You know, we come from a large family and we did a lot of stuff together. So we grew up together. And it's a distinct difference between how we grew up then versus now. Just even being able to go outside and play, man, it's just different now. Like, you know, same city, same problems. I can't say the problems is that much different, but it's different because we used to can go outside and play. And now, I don't see kids riding bikes and doing all of that. You see a lot of that or not?
No, not so much. I remember we was thirsty to drive, you know, taking our permit, license at Dunbar a year early. We was just thirsty to move around.
I don't know, yeah, that was another thing. You know, my kids wasn't thirsty to drive like that.
Man,
Nobody cared. They felt like they could get rides. But me and my cousin, we were determined. At 13, we were already looking for where we got to go to get our permits, what we were going to do so we could drive. It's crazy how much time and how much different. We was driving Dodge Omnis.
Yeah.
Buick
Skylark. Yeah, the Dodge Omni was our driver's ed car.
That was crazy. But we learned how to drive, and we wanted that independence, and it's just such a difference now that these kids, they feel like they're Uber. They ain't got to drive.
Right.
I don't even, like, the kids is wild. I'm going to be honest with you. Kids is wild. We both got them. You got twins. I couldn't imagine doing everything double at the same time. 2 Pampers. How was that?
Man, my son called me and was like, Dad, when I come home, you going to help me buy a car? Before I know it, he came home, he had a car. He bought his own car, got his license down in Arkansas. And Taylor up here still hasn't got a license. Bought her a car. She'll go 1 week taking lifts, and today she's driving her car. So it's crazy.
Wow. And that just goes to show how different it is, you know, just trying to even parent from how we were raised versus trying to raise kids. Because I'm disconnected. Like, what my kids be on, how they move, I just can't. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? And I try, but it just ain't for me. Just their ideas and what they think about the whole move. So it's been it's a whole thing. Just trying to parent kids now. Like I said, I'm so out of touch with my kids. I you know, how they move, how they look at money, how they look at credit, their expectations. Like, right now we dealing with COVID, right? And everybody is, you know, got their own opinions about it. Everybody feel away. And I get it. I understand that. But just listening to my kids talk about it, it really got me blown. Because I mean, you know, it's no shade to my kids because I know they're not by themselves. But they really believe this is fugazi.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah, man, people really dying. And they like, yeah, but the government got you believing. And I'm like, but bruh, people still getting sick.
Cite your source, sir.
Yeah, that's what, and I tell them, cite your source. And they be like this, oh, I'm driving, I'm busy. What you mean? Like,
Hey.
tell me where you get this information from, man.
I believe I was one of the biggest conspirators until I caught COVID. And I'm a believer, man. My testimony is probably one of millions, but I didn't feel good unless I was laying in the bed. You know, you was checking on me every day. And, it was scary for me. Put me down for 3 weeks. So now, I know it's real.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I try to explain to him. You can't tell me I'm watching somebody I'm extremely close to go through it, and it puts you down on your back for about 3 weeks. And it wasn't no, when we say down on your back, we not like exaggerating or putting nothing on it. You could not get out of bed at all. That was crazy to me.
Lost 20 pounds. I was going to the bathroom and to the kitchen and laying back down in the bed. I felt great laying down in the bed. No appetite, nothing. You know, it was very different. It was worse than any flu, any illness I've ever had.
And people, you know, I got my sons that'll debate that experience, and that's why I said they kind of blow me. Now, I'm a transition here. A lot of people don't know that you have been an entrepreneur. Even though you was valedictorian of your high school, you came out of CPS as a valedictorian, you was a high school athlete, you went to Chicago State on a scholarship, but a lot of people probably don't realize that you were an entrepreneur. Tell me a little bit about it. I know about it, but tell people who might not know, how was that experience or what gave you the bug to be your own boss?
Well, one of my teammates in college, I got the bug of selling cars then, late 90s, 97, 98. It was pretty much unheard of for a black man to own a car dealership. Entrepreneur-wise, I always inspired to own a barbershop, ironically, but just to get like booth run, stuff like that. But I learned the car business really fast. I opened up a used car dealership in 99, 2000. I had a U-Haul dealership. I had a cab service, which was well ahead of the curve. This was like probably 7, 8 years before Uber and Lyft was invented. And it was an experience, something I'll never forget. I also rented out cars for people to drive for the cab service, which is sort of like what Terrell is doing right now. So yeah, it was quite an experience, something I'll never forget. And as we move forward in 2022, we're about to open up a car dealership, so we're about to embark on that again.
Yeah, that is something that we're doing, but I'm about to mess y'all up with this. So, Cuz was sitting here doing Uber 7 to 8 years before Uber was a thing. So, I know a lot of y'all may not be understanding what I'm saying. He was in a marketplace. He had cars, and he would rent his cars to drivers, and his drivers would take the cars and go pick up people and drop them off where they were. So fundamentally it was Uber before Uber was Uber, and he was also like renting out vehicles. So if you didn't have a vehicle to be a cab, all you had to do was pay him per week, and he gave you a vehicle to cab in, to go get food in. This is what he was doing. Now it was scaled small to maybe like the south suburbs of Illinois, but I ain't gonna sell him short. Like, he really was doing it and was making money doing it, like good money. So it's just crazy to me. We always talk about it, but I don't think people realize, like, ideas for $1 billion businesses. You know, you have them, we have them, people have them. Now, are you know what I'm saying, disciplined enough to execute them and then build them out until you get to an Uber? And that's what made me and my cousin go into the Terrell business, and then even say, you know what, we finna get a dealership. And even beyond the dealership, we want to see ourselves. We want to be like, you know, black owned, you know,
diversified everything in transportation.
Everything in transportation, so to speak, because that's our background. So not only are we selling, you know what I'm saying, our own dealership, we selling cars, we want to be branded, but we want to also have our footprint in the rental market as well. So now it just changes kind of like how a consumer looks at it. You coming into Chicago, Hertz and Enterprise ain't necessarily what you want to do. I mean, we're going to be very competitive. And then beyond that, while we're giving you a brand new vehicle, a very nice vehicle, if it's something you want to buy, because maybe you move in here, a business move, and you get in real estate, you can shop with us as well. The vehicle that you pick, you can shop and buy that vehicle, and you already know it. You kept it for a month. You're on a corporate rental. You like it. You're familiar with the vehicle. So we got our business plan, and we putting. I mean, all of our stuff is already in motion. So that's why I can talk about it a little bit. But yeah, these are things we're moving forward and that we're doing together. So I'm excited about that. Like I didn't have the entrepreneurial grind like you did, but I watched you be successful at it, and I always respected it because I was like, man, he out here getting it. He, contracts with school districts. Oh, yeah. All that stuff was unheard of. We talking about, what, 10, 12 years ago?
Yeah, contract with, what was that, school district 201?
201 U, out there in the Crete-Monique area. He had a contract with them.
Oh, it was 5 digits a month, man. All I had to do was pay the drivers out of my pocket and just wait for that first month when I got paid, and then it was on from there. But then again, it wasn't on from there because that was 2007. So as 8 and 9 came, I started to lose drivers to Uber and Lyft, and still wasn't really grasping what they was on. I didn't understand what Uber and Lyft was, So
and then as business owners, our customers, like the school district, every year they voting new rules in. Voting new rules in to change the dynamic for an entrepreneur like that, to change your contract with them. So now you got to alter your business model to be in compliance. And that kind of hurts too. So being an entrepreneur is being able to be flexible and understand your marketplace and have to adjust.
It can change. Yeah, it can change drastically.
Every year with these schools, but he had the idea, let me go get a contract with the district. You did that. They didn't give you the regular students. They gave you special needs students. But you were still able to execute, and it's always a budget for special need kids. So I thought that was like phenomenal. So, hats off to my cuz for that. Like, a lot of y'all don't know what go on behind the scenes. You just see people on social media and don't know their background. That's the reason why I have my cuz on to let y'all know, like, being an entrepreneur is a grind, and it's, we graduated high school in 94. It's 2021. Like, you know what I'm saying? This grind don't never stop. Social media will have you believe, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, now you own. That ain't how this game works. It's a constant grind. You are always working every day, and it don't stop. Tell me how sports. Now, me and you are big sports fan. I play football. You play basketball. Tell me how sports in Chicago is viewed. I already know how you feel about Chicago teams and stuff like that, but tell me about, growing up in Inglewood, the sports there, because a lot of people identify Inglewood hoops with Derrick Rose. You were before Derrick, but you could tell us about the background,
right?
How hoops in Inglewood really was.
It was cool, man. It's just like every other neighborhood. We had our little neighborhood basketball tournament sponsored by some people that y'all may know, some Chicago legends. Jay Boogie, he's always been designing clothes. Sir. He's like in Georgia right now. My buddy Driller, Andre, who worked for Derrick Rose for 10 years. So it was a lot of figures in the neighborhood. They sponsored the tournament. We called it Woodshaw. And but that was like how it evolved. But before that, man, we was different from a lot of other parks. We always played at like 3, 4 p.m. and afternoon. The best games of the day were at 3, 4 p.m. And it's just as far as about being Ingram or being even associated with the same neighborhood Derrick is from. I grew up with his 3 older brothers, Greedy, Reggie, and Alan. Greedy, Reggie, and Dwayne. And, Dwayne actually played at Chicago State with me, too, when I was a freshman. So, they were from Murray Park. We were at Rasta, a.k.a. Woodshaw. We used to go back and forth every Saturday battling with those guys, battle with them. Randolph versus Rasta, Harper versus Hubbard. So it went on. It was a nice rivalry, nice competitive thing.
But you couldn't be trashed.
Oh, no, you could not be trashed.
That's what I'm talking about. You couldn't, like certain, you talk about West Pullman, some of these other park districts, they would let some of the bum kids, kids that couldn't hoop that well get on just to get a run. It's certain areas in the city that if you couldn't hoop, you was not playing.
No, you weren't playing. We had some even visitors. We had visitors, Brian Kelly, Paul McPherson, Juwan Howard was a staple in our neighborhood. Shelly Clark, Robert Bennett, Man, it was ballers from all over, and those wasn't even the regular hoopers from our playground.
See what I'm saying?
So yeah,
it's
it was
crazy.
very competitive sports.
I don't think people realize in Chicago, it's more hoopers that never went to school that's walking up and down the street that will bust a player ass. Somebody who you think is cold, they will kill him. Like, and it won't even be close, and you will be like, well, why didn't he go to school? Well, why didn't he dropped out of high school, but he still hooped every day?
I had a buddy, man, so cold, man, and I don't know what his goals were. Maybe he didn't aspire to go to college because he was a very responsible individual. He was a part of a band. He's playing high school basketball, may have 35 points, and then he got to go play the drums for his father, so he might not get home to 4, 5, 6 and miss school. Some situations he missed games. So it's just like the things that people do in Inglewood. Hey, man, basketball is an outlet, but it's truly secondary. You know, it was survival. So some people just like, hey, I can't even focus on what I'm going to do after high school basketball. I got to live life.
And that's crazy because most of these kids now don't even understand that us allowing our kids, giving them trainers and doing all that stuff, that was unheard of in the 90s, early 90s. Mm-hmm. You got your training on the concrete with the grown men. That's who taught you the game. It wasn't no coach you could go to and you could hoop with. Nah, if you could play, you played with the men.
I swear, AAU wasn't even really bubbling in 94. No. It started bubbling right after that. This generation need to be so thankful for the G.D. leagues and all that stuff, because it wasn't readily available for our class.
And that's the reason why you got so many hoopers that's mailmen, that's regular Joes. But when they go to LA Fitness, you want to know, who is this dude that just dropped 30 on everybody and just left and got into his minivan and rode home with baby seats in the back? No, those are hoopers that didn't have options. You know what I'm saying? Parents couldn't get them to college. Parents couldn't even get them to JUCO. Like, kids don't realize.
Yeah, buddy.
And speaking of this area with hooping, there's so many things that's different now. And the internet has made everything visible. So let's talk PPP, the action, the action of the PPP.
Wow. That's funny you mention it, because that's also one of my entrepreneurs. I don't like to call it a hustle because I took 2 weeks and I went to school to learn how to do taxes. So I felt like, that whole PPP thing was in the scope of doing taxes, accountants, CPAs, tax lawyers. Those were about 4 or 5 professions that actually knew how to do it legitimately, and not somebody just Googling something on the internet and say, hey, let me get out here and make some money for somebody.
So you know how to do taxes. We ain't even talk about that. You got a tax preparing service, and you also knew how to prepare PPPs for people. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this. The biggest issue people have is they don't read.
Yes.
Everything with the PPP or anything with any of those loans that the government was giving, it just required you to do what?
Read. It was so fundamental. I understand people don't understand tax formula terms and stuff like that, but a lot of it was just reading, a 1-page read. 2-page read at most, if you want to look into the laws or whatever.
And people paying top dollar to let somebody prepare because they weren't willing to read.
Yeah, some people was paying probably 5% up to about 50%. If you got Joe Blow on the street, he would probably charge you half or whatever you got.
And then it's and I guess, a lot of people had apprehensions due to thinking that, hey, look, what do I do in case? What happens if this? And the reality, from what I can tell, if you were a sole proprietor or you had anything you were working on, you sold clothes on the side, if you were a musician, you did anything on the side, you qualified. You qualified for that. And the misconception, so many, and I think that got to do with our people more than anything. Such visceral comments about, oh, you gonna go to jail, oh, you know what that reminded me of, because I was nervous about it, like, man, I don't know, which, okay, it's good to have some apprehension, but what really it reminded me of is, you can't run away, you can't leave this plantation, you can't go up north, you crazy, They
Right.
gonna catch you. They gonna catch you. They gonna get you. They gonna get. And now you look at it. People made it up north.
Yes.
People got away.
Yeah.
People, and it, not that you got away. Most people who had businesses or did the things the right way and went to a professional, you were straight. And even if you didn't, you were able to navigate and work through whatever the issues was with getting a PPP to fix it or correct it or get it to where you need to be without it jail being an issue,
Right.
or you having to, you know what I'm saying, go through extreme adversities. I didn't think that
Those
was the case.
those is mainly the haters, the people that were scared to do it. Y'all gonna go to jail, man. Watch.
Same people that were scared to run for their freedom.
Right. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay on the plantation, boss. I ain't going
I ain't
nowhere.
going nowhere, man. He been good to me.
Yes,
he been
sir.
good to you. He been good to me. Okay?
1 square meal, work all day for free.
Man,
I'm good.
It's crazy that mentality is still here. Now, on a personal note, you know, because like I said, we close. We both got divorced around the same time.
Yep.
Then, you know, the fallout from divorce, and I don't care who you are, no matter how smooth you think a divorce gonna go or not gonna go, it's a fallout. And with that fallout, you know what I'm saying, you need to support people close to you. And we both linked on each other. We wind up grabbing the crib over there in Blue Island and staying over there. Dating after divorce is, now that I'm years out of my divorce, I don't think I should have been probably dating nobody. I was a wreck. That whole it was a mess, man. I was a wreck. It was bad. I wasn't in no condition to properly love or deal with no woman. And you know, I'm sure it's a lot of men out here or women like, well, my guy, he loved me. He just got out his divorce. Let me tell you something. Divorce will wear you out.
It's one of the worst things you could experience, I think.
I agree. And we black men, and we telling y'all on a podcast, it is damaging for men no matter how strong we look, no matter how we act like it ain't an issue or we never liked her. We telling you right now, it is hard as hell, and we going through. Now, black men for years have been able to mask their pain.
Oh, yeah.
We can go through a lot of stuff, and our women never know. If you don't take nothing away from this podcast, take this away. You dealing with a man who got divorced, he is hurting.
He's damaged goods, yes.
You got it. We need time. And
definitely need therapy, too.
Yeah.
You got to do that
God.
post and before you try to move on. I think that's important.
Talked about seven different AP. You got to talk to people, and it's difficult because we're in no condition to date. How we think, how we process, how we view, however she is, no matter how good she is. So as we looking over our shoulder, like, you just like the last one.
Yep.
You gonna do, and I know women like, they all can't be like that. Nah, I don't care what he telling you. He looking over his shoulder. And if he ain't looking over his shoulder, that means he didn't care about her. And if he married her and he didn't care about her, meaning he didn't love her, that should be the biggest red flag on earth to you.
And then the opposite of what you said that, you probably wasn't any good after divorce. Some other people will say, hey, get back on the horse. But it'll be a whole bunch of horses getting back on, trying to get the ex out your system.
Man, the ex are just trying to tell yourself you okay.
Right.
And that's the trauma part of it is, instead of going to therapy, I'm telling myself, I just need to find another one.
Right.
And then I get with one and I tell myself, I need one more.
And then repeat the cycle over and over.
See what I'm saying? It's just, and then you go through that, and next thing you know, you drained, completely drained. You just like, oh my God, you don't even want to be bothered.
Yes, it's true.
And now you hurting people bad. So
hurt people.
Man, and that's the thing. So I try to, give a little game for women that watch to just say, look, don't believe. First of all, any man that don't even tell you he going through a divorce, or don't even tell you that, hey, I'm still married, I'm in the process of going through a divorce. If he don't share that with you, that's an issue, because it's not fair to take somebody else through your divorce, because like I said, it's a trash. Emotionally, you just a wreck because it's so much. You just ain't. It's nothing left to give somebody that's fair.
On the real.
Other than a physical shell. And, you know, women, sometimes y'all okay with that. And then down the line, you want something different. And I'm looking at you like you crazy because ain't nothing to give you.
No.
I left everything at court. Well, shorty, I left everything at court. And the little I got left, I got to get to my kids. It ain't nothing for you left.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't nothing for you. And then now everybody hurt. I'm an asshole. You just, look at you just use me. Like, you know, but you take anything away from this conversation between these two black men, divorce is horrible. Leave it alone.
Make sure she the one and never get divorced.
Oh my God, that'll help you. That will help you if you could do that. So I know with all my podcasts last year, we had a rapid fire section. So with the rapid fire, how it works is I'm gonna give you an either or, and then I'm going to do word association, and you tell me, you know, first thing come to your mind.
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Sativa or indica?
Indica.
Italian beef or gyro?
Italian beef.
Walona or Thelma?
Thelma.
That was hard.
She was a little loose. She always had a new boyfriend. I don't know. You attracted to the fast one sometimes.
Uncle Phil or Carl Winslow?
Yeah, that's a trick question, man, because in real life, I think they both are homosexual. Uncle Phil.
Yeah. In
Uncle
real
Phil.
life, there's real people, yeah, but the characters, I don't think they had wives.
Let's go with Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil, all right. Harold Washington or Barack Obama?
I'm going to say Harold Washington.
Brother
Harold. That was some good times. I was still a Bear fan when Harold Washington was in office.
I wish Harold was still alive today. Swear to God. Beach or woods?
Beach.
Red pill or blue pill?
Red pill.
All right. Jay-Z or Nas?
Nas.
Spades or dominoes?
Spades.
401k or IRA?
They both you gonna get taxed if you try to take the money out early. I would say 401k.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. Best Chicago team of all time?
Best Chicago team of all time. Well, the Bears only did it once, so I gotta say the Michael Jordan era.
All right.
The Bulls.
Bulls, okay. Word association. Money.
Fast.
Cold.
Hot.
Solid.
As a rock.
All right, last one. Best you ever had. It ain't got to be that. It could be best dinner, best place. I ain't going to sit here and let you be talking about something like Susie.
Right. Best I ever had. This is the hardest one.
Yeah, that's why it's last.
Water. The best I ever had was water.
Hey, man. That's Supertransfer Podcast. Thank you all for watching. This is my episode with my cuz. I love him. Cheers to everybody. Thanks, cuz, for being on.
No problem. Love.
Hey, y'all take it easy. We out. Oh, my goodness. That episode just blessed me mightily. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. We got more episodes coming soon, but always remember, subscribe, like, and share on YouTube, Nutted Music TV. Y'all be blessed.